Hey guys, what's up? We are back with another video today, and today we're doing our Iowa Hawkeyes football prediction. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Help me reach that goal of 1,100 subscribers by the end of July by hitting that subscribe button down below. Also, like this video if you enjoy it. Comment all your thoughts and opinions down below as well. Tell me what you think Iowa's record will be as we head into the 25th year of Kirk Ferentz as the Iowa head coach. It's a quarter of a century since Iowa's had a different head coach. Just crazy to think about. But make sure that you check that out and let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Also, make sure you check out College Football Roundup, my college football channel with American Football Network. We will be discussing all of our we'll be having our Roundup and Truth Day stuff on there and all that stuff. Also, check out the website and the Patreon page if you have any other thoughts about checking out the other parts of the channel. Let's get started with today's video. So as we march our way over to the schedule, Iowa starts off with a game against Utah State. Utah State being a program that definitely has a lot to work on. You definitely, if you're a program that is Iowa, you definitely want to work as a team to be able this is an Iowa team that I think is going to be very easily winner in this scenario. I think that Iowa is just they're going to win this game. They should have no issue here. I think that they get a win there. Then you have an Iowa State game in which this is a game on the road. It's on the road. Last year was the first time that Iowa State won that matchup, and I don't know. I don't think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Matt Campbell has won a game against Iowa. So it has been a very long time since Iowa State won that matchup. But this year it's at Iowa State. Iowa State does bring back 9 offensive starters, including their quarterback, Hunter Deckers, he had 3,000 yards last year, 66% completion percentage, 19 touchdowns, but 14 interceptions as well. This is a team that offensively is going to be a lot better than they were last year. And here's the thing. Offensively for Iowa and their offense. Here's the thing. It is tough to pick Iowa in a lot of these games because of their offense. Their offense is pathetic. It is just sad. You made the Big Ten title game 2 years ago against Michigan. You went 8-5 last year and about made it last year if it wasn't for your pathetic performance against Nebraska. But at the end of the day, I do think that Iowa gets a win. Kirk Ferentz has a great job at beating Iowa State. They lead the all-time series 46-23, so winning 2/3 of the matchups. This is just going to be a win for them. Then you welcome home the Western Michigan Broncos. Should get an easy win here. Not much issue there. Western Michigan, a mid-level MAC team, not a particularly great team, but solid team nonetheless. Then you have a road game against Penn State. This is going to be a tough matchup. Drew Allard is the new quarterback for the Penn State Nittany Lions. But I think at the end of the day, I do think that this is a loss. I just think that Penn State has too much offensive capabilities. And with this game being at Penn State, if this game was at Iowa, Iowa is a tough place to play, as you'll kind of tell by the way in which I have Iowa's home record versus their road record. I think that this is a tough place to play. If it was at Iowa, there's a possibility I have Iowa winning this game. But with the game on the road in University Park, I just don't see a possible way for Iowa to win this game, especially with just a pathetic offense. Then you have a home game against Michigan State. I think that you do win this game here. I think that Michigan State and Mel Tucker does not look to be the head coach that Michigan State wanted him to be. It looked like it was more Kenneth Walker. More and more as we get farther on into this contract with Mel Tucker, it looks more and more like it was more Kenneth Walker than it was Mel Tucker. So I think that you get a win there. I think Michigan State really struggles this season. If you saw earlier, I did have a win against Purdue. I think Purdue, they're in a decent spot. Like, they're not in a terrible spot. I think Purdue as a program, I like where they're at in some ways. I do like Ryan Walters as the head coach. I think that was a good hire. I think as a team under Jeff Brom, he did a very good job at doing. He had 2 great seasons these past couple of years, where he went 9-4 and 8-6. And to be honest, the 8-6 record. You had to play number 16 LSU, which they were much better than number 16, and you had to play number 2 Michigan. Those were 2 losses that at the end of the year where the team just kind of fell apart, and you lost your head coach and Jeff Brom to Louisville. I think that is just you're in an interesting spot. Purdue does bring in Hudson Carr, so I do like that pickup. I think that adds some depth to the team at the quarterback position, but I do think that Purdue, you definitely have one of the toughest schedules in all of college football, and I do think that Purdue does lose this game here. Then you have a road game against Wisconsin and Camp Randall. This is one of the games that if you're going to win the division, you have to win this game, but I just don't see it. I think that Wisconsin and Luke Fickell is just in a better spot. I think that with the pickup of Tanner Mordecai in the transfer portal, and having basically 9 to 10 returning starters, you're looking at just a very experienced team. You're bringing back one of the best running backs in the conference in Braylon Allen, followed by Ches Malusi. You're just looking at a dominant team. And not to mention, you bring back 8 defensive starters as well, only losing Keanu Benton and linebacker John Toronto. I don't know how to say that name, I'm going to be honest. But overall, this team is looking at a very good finish, and I think that they're going to be one of the best teams in the conference. So I think that you're looking at a good spot there. Then you have Minnesota. I think this is another loss. Even though this game was in Iowa, I had a tough time picking Minnesota. But I think when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I think that this Iowa team is just so bad offensively, and I really did like what the quarterback that Minnesota has coming in. I'm not even going to try to say his name. He played well at the end of the year. I did like the way in which he played against Wisconsin, which did give them the win. I was very impressed by that. I thought that it was a very good showing. And if you know what I'm talking about, you can just look up who the guy is last year. I'm not even going to try to say it. It's Greek. It's Greek something. So I'm sorry. When I do the Minnesota preview, I'll probably try to find a way to pronounce it. But I think that PJ Fleck, other than the 2020 season, he went 11-2, 9-4, 9-4. This is just a good team. He's a good winner. And I don't know if he'll be ever able to get over the hump and to play for that Big 12 or Big 10 title game. But I think overall, you're looking at a solid team here. Then you play Northwestern after the bye week. This is going to be an easy win. I think Northwestern, a bad team, 1-11 last year, 3-9 the year before. COVID year, you went 7-2, but the year before that, you were 3-9. It's been a bad stretch for Pat Fitzgerald, and you have a lot of work to do, and I just don't see it. I think Ben Bryant coming in from Cincinnati, I think that was a massive upgrade at quarterback. But you lose Evan Hull at running back, and then you lose a couple of defensive pieces. I think that you're good on the defensive end, but you do lose Adetowame Adebawore. So I think that is going to be a big deal and a big loss there. So I think that Iowa does get the win, even though this game is going to be played in historic Wrigley Field. So that should be a fun matchup. That'll definitely be one that I watch. Then you have Rutgers coming to town. This is going to be a win. Rutgers, they're good. I should say solid. They're not as bad as they used to be, where they were terrible. They're under Greg Schiano's leadership, and for whatever reason, Greg Schiano is a really, 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 really good coach at Rutgers compared to everybody else at Rutgers. So I think that they do get a win here, but I do think that it's not going to be an easy win. If this game was in Piscataway, I'd probably give the win to Rutgers, but I think with this game being in there, I think that it is a loss. Then you play Illinois, and I think that this game is a loss. I think Illinois is just too good of a team. I think that Illinois last year Illinois had some good parts about them last year. And obviously, it was a good season for Illinois. They almost made the Big 12 championship, and they would have if they didn't lose to Michigan State, or if they beat Michigan, or if they beat Purdue. They just kind of lost a couple of games at the end. If they just didn't lose them, they were looking at a possible massive matchup for the Big Ten title game. But you are looking at a team that I think is definitely heading in the right direction. I like where Illinois is at. I think that this team is in a good spot, and I am going to give the win to the Illini, despite the fact that I think that is going to be a good team. And plus, Brett Bielema is playing his alma mater in the Iowa Hawkeyes. Then you have a road game against Nebraska, and I think at the end of the day, I do think that this is a loss. I think that with Matt Rule, it's going to be his final game of the year. I think with a whole season of experience under his belt with this team, I think that helps him. I think Iowa finishes with a 7-5 record. I know that's kind of disappointing. I know that Iowa has had some good season in the past few years, but I just think that this team offensively has just been so atrocious that you really can't deny the fact that this team has to get better offensively if they want any chance at really getting more wins with an upgraded Big Ten West, where Wisconsin is better this year. Illinois, in my opinion, is better than they were last year, even though you did lose some pieces. I think Minnesota, they're a solid team. And you got a lot of solid teams in the Big Ten West compared to what you used to. So I don't think it's going to be an easy division to win. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Hit 2 videos down below and the subscribe button up here. And as always, have a great